Yo, Elliot. Hey, we got a really good question from our buddy Frank, who has injured his back and he can no longer do deadlifts or power cleans, any exercises that causes his center of gravity to move over his base of support or flexes at the hips. This is generally when most people either injure their backs or have pain in their back. So his question is, should I wear a weight belt now that I'm waiting for my herniated disc to heal completely? And the answer I'm going to offer you is no. I know you want to train, right? I know you want to continue to get stronger. I know you've got an injury that's the limitation. And if you wrap up your core with a belt, you will be able to train the prime movers in absence of the stabilizer muscles that are not working that caused your herniated disc or injury to actually happen. The reason why I'm telling you no, right? Because you can do it. You can totally do it. Use that belt, but I guarantee you're going to be dependent on that belt for the rest of your life. Your injury is never going to be fully healed. You're never going to have the full body strength that's required in order to train without a belt. And the reason why is because you're going to continue getting stronger in your prime movers in absence of your stabilizers, right? So you understand what I'm saying? The muscles of your abdominal region, your core, right? Your deep abdominal wall and even your superficial abdominal muscles they often act, specifically the deep abdominal wall, act as stabilizers of the hip and the pelvis, while your arms and your legs act as prime movers of your limbs. Okay, so follow me. If you continue to train your prime movers, right, these big, gigantic muscles, in absence of the stabilizer muscles of your core, you're going to get a situation where there is an imbalance between the core and the legs and the arms and so on and so forth, where now instead of there being so for example, let's say that the percentage difference between your core, right, your stabilizers, and your prime movers was 60-40, right? And that's what caused this little tweak in your back. Your herniated disc, which is not a big deal, but you're going to have to heal. You're going to have to sort of deal with it. Caused this to happen, right? Now you go and put on a belt because you're injured. The prime movers are going to continue getting stronger, right? So say they increases the percentage of the strength difference ratio between your core and your prime movers to 70-30 or to 80-20, right? Because now when you've got that belt on, you don't have to use those stabilizers. The belt becomes your stabilizer, but you're continuing to get stronger in your prime movers. So instead of it being 60-40, the difference, which was just slight and caused your injury, you're going to further widen the gap between the two. I hope this all makes sense. Are you following me? So when you do feel better, which might take forever because you're continuing to train and further facilitating that imbalance, when you do decide to take off your belt and you've got a 10% to a 90% difference between your stabilizers and your prime movers, you realize that, holy shit, I just dug my grave a lot deeper. Right? And then what you're going to have to do then is spend a lot of time rehabilitating the faulty recruitment patterns associated with the imbalance that you further facilitated during your injury time. The best bet for you is to start training the core muscles in an isolated fashion. Right? That means doing tummy vacuums. That means doing exercises that integrate the core. Like you see me doing a lot of these exercises with Swiss balls. You see me doing them with the cables. Right? I would invite you to do something like yoga or martial arts, where they force you to be very mindful of your full body during a particular movement, and start to integrate, start to build up the strength so that it can support your prime movers. Right? And you can do this even while you're injured. I've done videos about herniated discs. There are exercises that you can do based on where the bulge is, where it's herniated, right? So if this is your vertebrae, if the bulge is herniated anteriorly, there are going to be exercises associated with that. Laterally or posteriorly, depending on where the bulge is, you should know if you went to the doctor. And there are exercises associated with correcting it and then creating a situation where the shit doesn't happen again. Right? I've got videos on this. I'll try to link it up so that you can watch it. But that's it, man. Dude, sometimes we just got to take a break from the heavy lifting. Right? As much as we love bodybuilding and love strength training, there are times when you got to take a break from it and you got to go back to creating structural integrity and working with your body as a whole and integrating muscles that have had a motor sensory amnesia. And this typically happens more so than any other muscle in the body with the abdominal region, specifically the deep abdominal wall. So go back, dude. You've got a lot of work to do. But if you do it right from the beginning, then you're not going to have bigger problems later on. Not sexy advice, not popular advice, but the one I would do myself and I would offer to somebody that I care a lot about. I care about you guys. So do the right thing, grow stronger. Talk to you next time. Yo, Elliot.